everybody, so glad to have you here. This is the second video I've done in my I Remember series where we're talking about some palettes that were really much talked about maybe just a few years back, but they've kind of dropped off the YouTube radar a little bit lately. And one of my biggest requests left on the last video I did using Wet n Wild Comfort Zone was for the Naked palette, the original Naked one. And this definitely is my favorite of the Naked palettes. I really like Naked 3 also, but there's just something about the variety that you get out of this palette, and these shades have become just so classic to me and kind of the standard by which you compare so many nude eyeshadow palettes. So what I really wanted this series to be, and what was requested that this series be, was you know, just a bunch of everyday eye looks. Things that people can realistically put together and feel comfortable wearing out of the house and aren't too big of a deal difficulty-wise. So that's kind of what I did today. So I hope you like the look. Okay, regular old Naked palette. Here we go. I think I'm gonna get things started with... Why have I been so clumsy lately? I mean, really, I feel like I drop something at least once in every video these days. As I was saying, I'm gonna start off with the shade Naked. So that would be your lightest, like matte crease type color. And I'm just gonna get that going here in my crease. And I'm thinking about exactly where I want to go with this palette today. And I'm also thinking back to the first video I ever remember doing with the Naked palette, and I think I was reviewing it, but doing it in a comparison with the Too Faced Natural Eye palette, because they kind of were out around the same time. And so I remember getting both of those and talking about them in a video, and I really do think both are really good palettes. They both definitely have their strong points. Too Faced Natural Eye has of course undergone a bit of a makeover with a few of its shades in the past few years, but they're both great palettes. Okay, so that's a little bit of Naked in the crease, and then I'm going to use some Buck right there. So that is your slightly deeper matte brown crease color. It's not like a dark brown, but it's a little darker than Naked, of course. And I'm just going to put that right here in my outer corner. But yeah, where have all the Naked tutorials gone? You know, there's just been so many things come out since that time. And people kind of get up and move on, but yet I don't hear about people saying like, I'm totally abandoning the Naked palette. People still seem to have like a deep love for this palette. It just doesn't get a lot of airtime on YouTube these days. Alrighty, so I've kind of built up some base color there. The actual request was to do everyday wearable looks with palettes, so I'm not going to go too over the top with this, but it'll get a little smoky perhaps, if I'm honest with myself. I'm going to go in with Sin here and a flat brush. I always forget the exact name of this flat brush, but I put it in the info box below. It's from Sigma, and I'm just dabbing that right now around my tear duct area.
Tear duct?
My tear duct, yep. Hi, bub. Welcome.
Good morning.
So we're looking at a new car, something bigger than what we already have, considering the 2-car seat situation that we're in right now and we'll probably be in for a while. We want something a little bit roomier. Then I can't decide where to go for like the shimmery pop that I want to do on the lid. Do I want to do Sidecar and keep it taupey? Do I want to do Half Baked and do it real golden? Or maybe Toasted. I kind of miss Toasted, this kind of mauve-y, shimmery shade. This color, I feel like so many Naked dupe palettes try to replicate this Toasted shade and just can't get quite on point with what Urban Decay has done here, because sometimes I feel like this comes off a little bit like a rose gold, but yet it's got that depth. I don't know, it's so pretty. I love this color. And I'm just, as you can see, keeping that kind of on the middle part of my lid. And then from there, I'm gonna go to Creep, which is this darkest color. I'm gonna pat that here on my outer corner. And I'm gonna wedge that into the crease. And I may play that up a little bit more with just a small brush here in a second. Okay, so I've got this little 310, I think is the number, brush from MUA Professional. It's a small crease brush, and I got it at CVS, and I use it all the time. My Essence of Beauty Fine Crease Brush Duo, I know that that's like, that goes way, way back. Like if I were truly doing a full-on throwback video here, I would use those, but I just know that those are hard, if not impossible, to get your hands on these days. So this is definitely a good crease brush. If you're looking for something with a lot of control, like it's smaller than the Sigma E25 that I often use to just lay down some matte shadow in the crease at the start. But I don't really have any product on this brush right now. What I'm doing, that darkest shade just really was so dark, and I felt like I put a lot of product on the outer part of my lid. So I'm just using this little brush to sort of move that around a little bit and really deepen up that outer corner. I just love a good like kind of buffed out outer V that's not too like V truly, you know what I mean? It's just a softened outer V. That's kind of my game these days. Okay, two things I want to do. I want to take Toasted and reinforce that shade right here on my lid. Again, it's like this odd neutrally little mix of a hint of plum, rose gold, and taupe all rolled into one shade. I'm going to use just a hair more of that Naked color and just kind of whisk that around my outer border just to help make sure everything's looking nice and blended. And then to make sure we leave no stone unturned, I'm going to blend with the brush that I always use, Bare, you know, the Sigma E40. Nice fluffy blender here. And I think I'll give myself a little pop of Virgin right under the highest point of my brow. Now for eyeliner, this probably isn't going to show up like super intense color-wise, but I just want to try it out. It's this wild green liner from the L'Oreal Infallible Paints line. I just want to see how this goes. These liners, if you saw my Infallible Paints video, I believe that one's going up before this. They have this line of pens, and I mentioned how the ones that I had tried, the black and the white, seem to skip and like kind of pull going on top of those paints cream shadows, because once they set, they get almost just a teeny bit hard on the eyelid. And here I'm going across powder shadow, and this seems to have no problem going across a powder. So that's kind of cool. I think I'll wing it out too. But yeah, it's a felt tip pen, and I do really like how tapered down it is. And it's a very gradual taper, so you feel like you can kind of lay it on its side and, you know, take full advantage of that shape. Talk about a subtle pop of color though. I mean, this green is definitely deep green, but it's so dark that it's not very loud at all. I'm gonna go with the nude lower inner rim. This is my Rimmel Scandalize in nude. And then I'm going to take my little smudgy brush, use a little bit of Hustle right down here on my lower lash line. Just the outer part for now. And then I think I'll do a little more Toasted for the rest of the lash line. Next up, I will just curl the lashes. I'm using some of this Makeup Forever Excessive Lash. I actually am in love with this brush. Look how little it is. Like, just doesn't have tons of super long spikies everywhere. I find that I'm just trying to get my mascara on a lot faster these days, so I'm in some ways a bit more careless with it. So if it can just be a smaller brush and not get in my way, that's great. So this one, it builds a lot of nice length. I'm actually liking it better. Now I'm into about like week 2 with this, so that's the sweet spot for a lot of mascaras for me. You know, you use up a little bit of the product, you can really see like how well it builds. We just got our pool opened back up yesterday. And you kind of hold your breath, like, is everything gonna, you know, keep working how it should? And sure enough, we needed a new part for something, for the little, like, vacuum that runs around the pool. So, ordered that, and I'm hoping by, like, this weekend, we can get that installed and everything will be all systems go, right? And I'm doing a little bit of my CoverGirl Clump Crusher Water Resistant on the lower lashes, just because I don't think I've used the excessive lash on my lowers yet, and I don't really want to risk the smudges today. This is another one of those mascaras though with a really nicely sized brush, so you can kind of be quick with it, knock on wood, and not worry too much about knocking yourself on the face. You know what I mean, it's just easy to control. And I think this is gonna be yet another false lash free look today because number one, I like the way my lashes look with that Makeup Forever mascara on them. And number two, I've got that green eyeliner that I don't necessarily want to cover up with a lash band, you know what I'm saying? And also we kind of claimed that this was gonna be an everyday eyes type series, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna do Nude Star from the Infallible Paints line, so allow me to just slap that on here. I don't know if I addressed this in the review, I can't remember, but these kind of smell like you just opened a packet of Kool-Aid a little bit. Took a quick whiff. Don't notice it beyond the application, but just taking it out of the tube when it's right here under my nose, that's what I smell. So this is just a little bit deeper and rosier than that other color I really like from this line called Spicy Blush. Like this, you know, it truly looks like the outer packaging. That versus this. I like that they were able to create shades that actually look pretty dang close to what the outer packaging is they created. Okay, so finished eye look, a little Urban Decay Naked palette, a little forest green eyeliner. Not bad. And as far as my blush today, I am wearing, let's see, a little bit of this shade topped with some of that peach as well. So that's what's giving me my little pop on the cheeks. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for your interest in this series. I just think it's so fun to dig back into some of those things that we just don't hear talked about that often anymore. So please leave your requests for future videos in this series in the comments section, and I will talk to you later. Bye.